Hi FlossTube, I'm Autumn, the Yellowrosestitcher. Today's Wednesday, July 24th. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. And stumbling along, this is mostly usually more cross stitch than anything. Today there's a little more patchwork and quilting, but that's what I've been in the mood to work on. I had quite a few new subscribers since after my last video, so if you're new, welcome and thanks for joining me. If you're a returning viewer, of course, thanks for keep returning. The fact that any of y'all watch at all still astounds me, so but thanks for being here. And I'll see, like I said, there's a little less cross stitch this month's update than usual. So as I say, I've been in a really sewing, quilting, patchwork mood. I haven't touched my knitting. I had a shawl that I was working on in my last video. I haven't touched that at all in the last month. So go ahead and jump in and get started with this and show you what I worked on. Two cross stitch pieces. One I actually finished and fully finished. I'll show you in a minute. And then this is the whip that my main focus has been Grace on Thee by Plum Street, and I really got a lot done on this since I showed it in my mini patriotic whip parade last month. So, and it is stitched on 36 count French vanilla by R&R Reproductions. And I say this was a kit that I bought from Dying to Stitch in 2019, I believe is the start date. Yeah, March 2019 is when I started this. So, let's see, hold that up. Like I said, I got quite a bit done on this since the last video. Last video only had, the door was pretty much done and about half of the brickwork. And some of the mortar was done. So anyway, I have completely finished the house, except for there's a stitch in the center of that star that I got to put in. So I managed to finish the house. I put in the grass. I filled in all the cream of the flag. Got a couple more stars stitched and filled in these quilt blocks in the shrubbery and got the urn done. So yeah, and of course, like everything I've touched lately, there's issues, there's problems. So I had usually stitch with my patterns. Let's see if I can show this. I have an alt light with a little pattern stand on it, and my granddaughter she can't stand for anything to be on the little pattern book holder, so she's always moving things. And so I picked up the pattern and put it away, and then I picked this up and I was in the grass section, and I just zoomed along, going along until I got to this edge of the house, and then did some counting and realized that I completely forgot to skip. There's supposed to be steps there at the center of the house. If I can do this without the glare. So I'm like, I really don't want to try to figure out where to pull out the stitches to fill that in. And also, I don't know why the camera keeps flicking in color. Sorry about that. I really don't want to pull all that out. So Saturday I ran to my local shop, the Stitch Niche, and they were out of, this is Nature's Trail. Where'd I put I think it's Classic Colorworks, Nature's Trail. Of course they didn't have one, but even if they had, it probably wouldn't have matched since this is from 2019, and y'all know these hand-dyed flosses, matching threads can be not near impossible. So anyway, I got out here and I've got I think 4 or 6 more columns to stitch in on this end, and they didn't have it. So I'm going to go with plan B, because I don't want to rip this out and try to figure out where the threads end and start and get all that. I don't want to mess with it. So what I am going to do, because this shows up better on the camera than it does in real life. These quilt stars that are in the topiary show up better on camera than they do in person. There's some areas over here that it just sort of disappears. So I'm going to carefully pull these threads out and use them to finish the grass over here. And then I picked up a Weeks Dye Works Butterbean is the color, and it's a much lighter green, and I'm going to put those in the topiaries here, and then there's one here on this side, and I think that'll be good. I think that'll work. So, but yeah, all I lack is the topiary and urn on this side, and then there's a few more stars to fill in. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stars on this side. And then I need to finish the centers of the stars. So then I will be done. So I'm going to try to get that finished before the next video and see if I can't actually finish, get another finish this summer. So that's my work in progress. That the only one I really have to show for cross stitch that I've done since the last video. Get that set aside. So now the rest of everything else is pretty much fully finished items. Not necessarily cross stitch, but one cross stitch. I showed you this was a works in progress last month from Cottage Needleworks, the July Cottage. And let's see, I'll take that out. And I started this July 4th, 2023 and finished June 4th, 2023 and finished June 26th, 2024. So that's the pattern. And this is my finish. Yay. And I've got it on a magnet board on this. And this is the third month of this series that I've done. I've got October and December done as well. And I say there is an error in the placement of July when I was stitching it. I had done, the flag was already done, and then I went to do the flagpole, and it wasn't coming out right for the distance between the flagpole and the house. And I figured out my July is off, but I fixed the flag, ripped that out, fixed it, was able to, and I had to rip a little bit of stitching up here, not much. I can't remember exactly, but anyway, got that corrected and got it all done and fully finished. And as I say, I am not good with the all the frou-frou bows and flower picks and buttons and all that. I can't tie a pretty bow to save my life. I even bought a little gadget that's supposed to help tie bows. So anyway, it's not all gussied up like other folks, but it works for me. So, but I was glad to get that done and actually done in time to display it all month long. So I'll say, and it's stitched on a 28 count in even weave, and unfortunately it's a mystery that was in my stash. So, which as I say, I think I mentioned before, I really wish I knew what it was because I really like stitching on it. And I've got enough to do, I think, 4 more of these cottages. So the whole series won't be on the same fabric, but you know, they're not sitting next to each other at the same time, so that doesn't really matter. So get that set down. And so that's all of the cross stitch finishes for today. But I have to say I have been rather productive. Last month I showed this. I had bought a kit for a little mini table runner, and this is the pattern. Mini Chic, how do you say it? I don't know. Charm runner. Anyway, I bought a kit at Quilt Among Friends, and I got it pieced and machine quilted. As I say, really pleased with how that turned out. Turned out really cute. I love the fabrics. I don't know, wish I knew what fabric line it was. And then the back. So that's done and out on display I say in the size of it, I say I did it in a couple of days, well, day and a half. I started late one evening and did the piecing, but anyway, I say my next piece, I'd knocked off the rust from machine quilting. Not that I've done a whole lot of it, but that I had done had been years ago. And I knocked off the rust with this next piece that I worked on. And I showed you this in my last video. And this is, I think I had mentioned that I thought this was a Joe Morton Little Women's Club piece, and it is. Hang on, excuse the noise. So I think these clubs still go on, Joe's Little Women Club. So you get, I was in this with a friend, and this was the version that was in the club, and it's called Soldier Blue. Is that the right one? Yeah. And I say circa 2005 is the copyright on this. So let me, yeah, Soldier Blue. And I took a picture, Betsy, the teacher, she always had a sample up. That was the sample from class. And that's the same firecracker fabric, but I bought the red and gold version. Oop, hang on, got a thread. So I managed to get it quilted and bound, and it's been out on display as well. Yay me. As I say, I started quilting this, and I was going to do the wave stitch, and as I say, the stitches came out super tiny. It took me forever. I just did one line across the middle, and I had to rip that out and do some, even though I did test pieces with the wave stitch on a scrap, for some reason when I got to this, it changed. But anyway, I was able to get it out, and I was just going to do the wave stitch across horizontally, and you know, I did just the centers, and then I was going to go back and fill in, but then I changed my mind and just decided to do a grid, and I was happy with how that turned out. I didn't have any more of this gold fabric, but I had a yardage of this gold crackle, which I think is a Moda fabric. It's one of their staples. Anyway, so feels good to have something that's just black, or the back. Feels good to have something finished. Let's say, and got this done and got that other one done. Say I've been on a roll with patchwork and sewing this month, so that was fun. And then this was another piece that I showed. Hang on a second. Let's see if I can get my notebook back together before we move on here. I can get it out of the way. These little patterns that we got were just black and white copies, and I have no idea if Joe Morton sells her patterns once they're gone through a club. I've never looked that up to see if that's something. Yeah, so I don't know, can't tell you, but finished that, and then I pulled out, I showed you this War and Pieces quilt. It's a Civil War, let's see, that I have pieces all prepped for applique, and so let's see which, this block here was the one that I had all the fabric turned under, and it's the Southern Rose and Northern Lily was the name of the block. And I'll show you. I got it finished. The only thing alteration on it is it had these appliqued gold stars on the blue field, and they were just so stinking tiny to get them turned under. And then when I was trimming one of them, because I just had it ironed on a square, I cut wrong, and there wasn't enough really for the a salvage, or I mean a seam allowance. There's the words. So I decided just to leave the stars off. I think it looks fine without it. So it goes on It's sewn on point, but it doesn't get sewn in the quilt. It's, you know, put in at an angle. But that was, I think that turned out really good. So I say I really, really, really love applique and hadn't done any in a while. So it felt good to get something done. But I have decided, I only had one other block done from this quilt previously to the last month, and that was this block. But since making this one, I have decided I'm not going to do this whole quilt. I don't have a desire to do the whole thing anymore. I say my taste has kind of changed, but there is one other block. This one, I think I'll do one more block and then just turn these 3 into a large table runner, because these blocks, I've got to trim them down. I think they trim down to 15.5, so they're big. But I think I'm going to do the one with the other shield, which is Federal Eagle is what it's called. So I'm not sure when I will tackle this, if I'll try to do it before this summer or not, because while this is the block I think goes best to make a table runner with the other 2 that I have, I'm not really thrilled with the idea of stitching these, because you don't stitch the cream. That's just the background fabric. I'm not really thrilled with appliquing all those red stripes, so I don't know. I'm not in a hurry to get it done, so I'll say put this away for a while. Hopefully not for another, who knows, 10 or 15 years, but yay. The other idea was just to turn these 2 in a big giant pillow, put it front and back. That's another thought that I might do, but anyway, I haven't, that would be a new challenge, making a pillow. Excuse me. So, hang on, I gotta put this away real quick. Yeah, as I say, since I don't really have a lot of fabric, all I have is the paper trimmings, freezer paper set aside for this quilt. I don't feel like I'm wasting by not doing the quilt, because I don't really have fabric set aside and already turned under. I think there's one other block that's got fabric, and it's, you know, not much at all. So I don't feel guilty for the idea of not finishing the whole quilt. So that's not a big deal. And lastly, as far as making goes, if you're familiar with the Dear Jane quilt, it's been popular for years, and on Instagram I follow the Dear Jane hashtag and keep seeing all these beautiful quilts. I had started mine, friends and I started a class, hang on, no, it's not in there. I think this is going to be embarrassing. 2007, July of 2007. We had the teacher had these journal pages, and I actually wrote a journal entry for the day we started the class. But I don't remember ever going but to one class, and why, because there were 3 of us, me and a couple of friends, why we never continued with the class. I don't remember, because that's been a very long time ago. But I pulled this out after feeling inspired. This is the book, and there's an let's see, copyright 1996 is when the book came out, and then she came out with an updated book for the 25th anniversary, and I'm not sure what the updated book has, but anyway, felt inspired to pull this out, and I found that notebook, and it had some of paper foundation piecing that the teacher had printed off. One was already started, so I thought I'll sit down and get that. This was the one that was already, the center part was done, so I finished that one. And these blocks finish at 4.5 inches, so this is 5 inches unfinished. So I got that one, which is block L7, Town Square. And then I got A6, Uncle Homer. Got that one done. And then this one, I forgot. my friends and I, at the time we bought these fish tackles, it was pretty clever. Got little, it came with these, and then we can put sandwich bags in it for all the blocks. So I've got several prepped and a few, I think I have about four or six that were finished and set aside, but I say there's a bunch that have the freezer paper prepped. And this one is block C6. C6, Ashley's Aurora. Anyway, this one, my applique is not great. I think I need to move a piece, but I may, or I don't know. But if you can't tell, I'm doing all of mine in Civil War purples. These are some of the fabrics that I've used and got. So, and I have way more purples than I can probably, well, I don't know. I forgot how many blocks are in this quilt. 125 or something, but that's just my color scheme. And then this kind of oyster doesn't really show up as well in this lighting, oyster cream, but got 3 done. Oh, you don't want to see the back of it. So we'll see how many. I had prepped a bunch of applique ones because those were easier than figuring out the piecing. But I let's see, on July 16th and 17th was Amazon's Prime Day. So we're going to slide into Acquisitions now because this applies. Because that's all my making for since the last month. But anyway, on Prime Day, electric quilt software was on sale. And so I purchased that because it was like almost 40% off, which I thought was a pretty good deal. And I bought it only primarily so that I can buy, they have an add-on for the Dear Jane quilt, and it'll give you, of course, the applique templates is one for those blocks, and then it gives you paper piecing templates that you can print out and use for, and you can also adjust the size of the blocks, apparently. I say the quilt, the original is 4.5-inch finished squares, but since I've started with that, I'll keep going with that. I'm not going to remake anything. And then they give you traditional piecing cutout instructions, I believe. So those are the 3 things the Dear Jane software gives you with EQ, or 8. So I bought this, and I'll wait a little while, and then I'll go buy the Dear Jane add-on software. And I just got this in the mail yesterday, so I haven't installed it on my computer, so I may install it and see what other check it out, see if I can figure it out and play with it a little bit. So that should be interesting. So that was we'll get into Acquisitions. That was one piece. And then I am get the Christmas books from Craftways, which I think is the same company that owns Hirschner's. So I got their I've gotten these for a few years now, and so once you order one, you're on their automatic shipment. But this is this year's, A Festive Spirit, and I love the cover piece. It's full coverage. I don't think I'd ever stitch it, but it is pretty. Anyway, I've marked a few to show you the ones that, and it also comes with this, if you return the book, you can keep this little freebie that's got these patterns in it. And I don't think, if I remember correctly, I keep meaning to check this and forgot, you can't order this off their website yet. I think you have to wait maybe till August or September, but you could go to Hirschners.com and find out. But anyway, I marked a few, not everything in the book. I liked this stocking. I thought that was really, really cute. I don't have anybody to make a stocking for yet, but hopefully there'll be more grandchildren coming along. And then, let's see, this is an Emma Congdon Happy Holidays. Really liked that. Thought that was super cute. That was another one. That one seems more doable. And then there were these little airmail letters, which I really liked. I guess you could use them as gift tags, but I think I would just fill them in and use them as Christmas ornaments. But loved these. And then, there's the whole book is good, but these were the ones that I liked the most. And then I liked these. I like the Scandinavian or Nordic patterns. I liked these three. I like the tree and the star. Liked those. And then lastly, this is I think my favorite piece in the book. Let's see if I can do this without showing the pattern on the other side. This is Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Love that. And who's designed by Becky Spencer. Is that Merry Christmas? So anyway, if you want to see a full book flip through, Carolyn Zook, her YouTube channel, C Zook Stitch, I think is the name of her YouTube. She did goes through all the patterns in there. But anyway, I thought I'd share my favorites. And have I made anything from any of these books? Oh, Farrah's. I got an ornament done for Farrah, which I need to start the next one for this year. But for the most part, no. So my other acquisitions at my local shop, the Stitch Niche, one of their employees has been, she hosted two, she was clearing out or destash, and she had a lot of stuff, and she had a third one. And after the third one, I think they just let her leave her stuff there in the stitching classroom. So I went in, when I was in one day, I went and checked out stuff, and I purchased, this is a Mirabilia, the Scent of Old Roses. And I'm not sure, I haven't looked up, this one may be out of print, I'm not positive. So I bought that, and she just had it in the page protector. And then there's a lavender and lace. I don't know if I'll actually stitch this one, but sometimes I buy patterns just because I want to have them. And it was Angel of Freedom was that one that I purchased. So I'll say they're not still in the package, but they're in a sheet protector, so in good condition. And then there was Purple Passion by Mark Sostad. Anyway, I love irises. Love irises. That and yellow roses, those are my two favorites. So I thought this was gorgeous. So picked that up. Those were all from Mary's D-Stash. And then I had to go into the Stitch Niche Saturday to get thread for my Grace on Thee, and walked around. This pattern's been out for a while. I picked up the Scarlet House Colonial Blooms. Always like that. Kim was telling me that she stitched it on 56 count and gave it away. I was like, oh my gosh. I don't know if I could ever stitch on 56 count. But anyway, that would have been something to see, because this isn't a big piece to begin with. Stitch count's 82 by 81. And then this piece, Martha Brown by Hands to Work. And it was stitched up as a sample in the shop, which I hadn't seen before. But it was the wording on it that I loved, which it's kind of hard to read because the letters are different colors. Then guide, O Christ, this little hand to deal thy bounties round the land, to clothe and feed the hungry poor, and to the stranger open my door, my cup of water. Christ is free for all that love and thirst for thee, with wisdom many a soul to win and lose the, there's a word I can't read, bond of sin. So anyway, I loved the wording on it. I don't know. So I had to pick that up. So that was, and then these two came in an email from, oh, why have I just gone blank? Stony Creek. I get their emails. My husband used to have this, well, it looks the same. I don't know if it's the same artist's work or not, but called War Eagle. He had it up for a long time as a profile picture for Facebook, and then something happened to his computer and he lost it. When I saw this, I knew I had to get it. American Pride. So, yeah. Don't relish the idea of stitching on black. I don't know. How dark, how light can you go and have a dark background and still see the stitch? Like a dark gray or something. I don't know. That would probably blend in because there's a lot of gray on the color chart. But anyway, I had to get that. And when I saw this, I got this one too at the same time. Let Freedom Ring. I've always liked this piece. And the thickness of the chart. I was like, oh, good golly. Lila Studio. So it's recommended to stitch on 35 count. But if you look at the chart on the back, so on 40 count linen, it's 15.5 by 11 7/8. So it is a big piece. But now that we've been to Philadelphia and visited Independence Hall. Anyway, so those were, oh, you know what? I forgot. I have some other stuff that's not in the pile. Hang on. Hey, can't believe I forgot. I had ordered, this came out, Summer Quaker for Primrose Cottage. Ooh, that really blows out. And I bought the finishing kit for it, which comes with dinky dyes. I love that yellow. Oh, but I have an idea. I don't want to stitch it on white. I have a piece of fabric in my stash. It's kind of a greeny blue that I think that might look really good on. So I love this whole series. So that was another acquisition that I'd ordered. And this from Darlene Dion Designs. I've got a couple of her patterns. She came out with this in the last month. Stitch All the Things Quaker. So this is a PDF from Etsy. She has an Etsy shop. But I thought that was, although I think I may change the red and then it's got a little bit of green. I don't know. It feels a little Christmassy, but I don't know. We'll see what I get inspired to do when and if I get this started. So that is all the making and acquisitions, and so we'll end with the giveaway that I had put this pattern up as a giveaway in my last video for you to leave comments. And so I used a comment picker on the internet, and I'll put up the screenshot of the winner. And the winner is Wanda Greer 3325. So congratulations, Wanda. If you could email me at yellowrosestitcher@hotmail.com, and I'll put my email address in the description box below. But email me with your address, and I will get this pattern sent off to you. So congratulations. And that, hopefully I'm not forgetting anything this month, but I think that's all. I hope you're enjoying your summer. So we've got some cooler weather. We've had rain this week here in North Texas, which has been nice for July. So, but we will see you again in August. Happy stitching, everybody.